That was our shortcut for you for all over the place. That can mean spread out over a wide area, but we can also talk about people being all over the place. It just means they're saying a lot of very different things, or they are saying things that are strange, in other words. Like if I say to somebody, you're all over the place today, it just means you're not making a lot of sense. You're saying some weird stuff, in other words. And that's kind of what these reports were like. We had a whole bunch of people saying very different and, in some cases, very weird stuff. Now, one of those people was Bill Tompkins.
Bill Tompkins.
You know Bill Tompkins?
Oh, yeah, he's all over the place.
He's all over the place. Bill Tompkins was 17 years old that night. Okay, so he was a young guy, teenager.
Right. Yep.
He says he saw a round ship in the sky. Okay, when people talk about alien spaceships, you know, you've probably seen the old sci-fi science fiction movies.
Sure.
It's always like those kind of disc-like ships.
They look like a frisbee.
They look like a frisbee you throw on the beach.
Right, or a plate.
They're never like square cubes. Oh, well, I guess in Star Trek they are.
Well, there's a square one, but they're not usually sort of airplane shaped.
No, they're not. Right? They don't look like our airplanes.
Kind of pointed in some way, or like a rocket.
They're usually round.
They're usually round, like a plate.
And we call that sometimes a flying saucer.
Right.
Okay, a saucer is like a plate. Sometimes it's a small plate that you'll put like a teacup on or a cup of coffee. But we call it a flying saucer, and that's what he says he saw, a round ship in the sky. He also says there were other smaller vehicles moving around the large ship.
Cool.
This is Independence Day.
This is kind of like, yes,
This is the Will Smith movie with the really big round ship and then the smaller ones that fall out of it.
Yeah.
This is ID4. This is that's what this is. Okay.
That must have been it.
They totally stole that for Independence Day.
Absolutely. Well, and I bet Independence Day was made in Hollywood.
I think so.
Which is in Los Angeles.
Oh, the conspiracy just grows.
It's all true.
It's all connected.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're talking about vehicles here.
Yes, right.
Smaller vehicles, those are just things we use for transportation.
Right.
Cars, trucks, scooters, those are all vehicles. In a way.
And bicycle's a vehicle. It's a human-powered vehicle.
And we could call a spaceship a vehicle, too. Just
submarine.
A vehicle you would use to fly off to the moon.
A machine that's made to get people from one place to another. A horse is not a vehicle, but if the horse is pulling a wagon behind it, that would be a vehicle too.
Okay, so he said he saw these vehicles up in the sky. So that's one witness, but there were more.
He's not the only one.
No.
That's right. Ray Bingham was a child that night, but he doesn't remember seeing any ships in the sky. Okay. So he was around as well, but unlike this other fellow, Ray Bingham doesn't remember seeing anything. Newly released government documents show that radars found a target that night at 2 a.m. So there might actually be something to this idea that there were things flying over the city of Los Angeles that night, because new documents, a document is basically like an official paper. You might get a document when you graduate from school, when you get your driver's license, when you get married. These are important papers that you might want to hold on to. And of course, most government papers we will also call documents because they have an official important reason. So these government documents that were released, these were formerly classified or secret, but now we can look at them, we can read them. Historians are very interested. They show that radars found a target. Radar is short for radio acquisition something, and radio acquisition, detection, and ranging.
Very good.
Thank you very much. It's basically that thing on TV when you see the screen and there's the green line going around with it, beep, beep, then they can see where something is. That's radar. It's using radio waves to bounce off things, receive the information back, kind of like an echo. It's sort of the same idea. So the radars were actually scanning the sky around to look for anything strange or suspicious, anything dangerous, and the radars actually did sense something that they couldn't explain. There weren't any airplanes flying in that area. The Army wasn't testing any airplanes over there, so what did the radar see over LA that night?
Well, the target was heading for Los Angeles. So all they would see on the radar would just be a little green dot.
Yep.
And the dot would be moving and it was going towards the city of Los Angeles. So they would see it here and Los Angeles might be here and then it would be here. It would be moving closer and closer to the city. And soldiers were told to shoot it if they saw it.
Okay, so they thought it was dangerous.
They thought it was dangerous and it was unidentified. Normally, if planes are flying around in the sky, everyone knows exactly what it is because they're talking to each other.
Right.
If it's a commercial flight, if it's a plane that's flying people from one place to another.
Continental 421 from San Francisco.
They're talking and all pilots use that voice.
Thank you very much.
Except they say, a lot. Today we'll be flying to the city of.
That's true.
That's how they talk.
Yeah.
But they're always communicating with each other because if you're a plane up in the sky, they need to know exactly where you are so you don't run into another plane.
Or if you have an accident, they want to know where to look because that's where they last knew you were.
But this object, whatever it was, I guess it was silent. They could not reach it. It was unidentified. They might have been trying to communicate, but they could not talk to whatever was there.
Right.
2 soldiers saw something in the sky.
Look in the sky.
And began shooting. Began firing their weapons up into the sky, trying to take it down.
And what did they get?
In the end, nothing. No vehicle was found.
Oh.
Absolutely nothing. So they shot at it. They did detect it on the radar, but they got nothing. No vehicle, no evidence. Was it really a weather balloon? Or was it an alien ship?
Some big questions.
That is a big question. It could have been a lot of different things.
That's right. Well, to find out more about mysteries like this, and I'm sure many, many others, tune in to Discovery's UFOs Declassified.
That's right. This is a mystery. Mystery is something unexplained. This is something we don't know how it happened, why it happened, or anything like that. Something that leaves us with a lot of questions. This situation definitely does. It could have been a weather balloon. It could have been aliens. It could have been something else that
could have been
has not occurred to us yet. Okay, it's a very good mystery. If you like UFOs and like exploring declassified information, this would be a good show for you. We're almost out of time. Before we go, let's have our For You chat.